By the end of this video, you're going to know exactly how to increase your credit score in the quickest way possible, and it's the same strategies I use to get over an 800 credit score, as well as help many others do the same. Throughout the past few years, while helping people, I've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly, like buying trade lines, which I don't recommend at all, and you'll see why later on in this video. But first, I need you to smash that subscribe button if you want to be smarter with your money. Let's jump into it. Okay, before we do anything, you need to understand what makes up a perfect credit score and what makes up a credit score in general. So you can see my credit score here and what makes up my credit score. But more importantly, let's figure out how to make up your credit score. 35% payment history, 30% accounts owed, 15% length of credit history, also known as your credit age, 10% credit mix, meaning different type of accounts, 10% new credit, like hard inquiries, and that pretty much wraps it up. I'm not going to spend much time on that. Replay this part of the video if you need further understanding. All right, to see a noticeable bump in your score in just 1 week, try out these 4 things. First is to pay down your credit card balances. I know this sounds cliche, but it's huge. Aim to get your utilization below 9%. What that means is the amount of credit you're offered across all of your credit cards versus the amount of credit that you're using across all of your credit cards. This is the fastest way to increase your credit score overnight, basically giving it a mini makeover. And yes, that means putting down the new Jordans for the time being.
What's all this? You tell me, fuckstick, they're all addressed to you.
Second way, again, I know it sounds cliche, is to avoid late payments. These will stick to your credit report like gum on the bottom of your shoe. Set up automatic payments if you have the money, and do whatever it takes to keep your history clean. Also, don't apply for any new credit cards right now, or credit in general. New inquiries could ding your credit score. It's basically like asking too many people to co-sign on asking a girl out on a date. Less is more. You don't want more people involved. And then one of my favorite things to do with my clients is immediately check your credit report for any errors. Mistakes happen. If you find one, dispute it immediately. It's like finding out you've been charged for someone else's lunch. It's completely unfair and you should get it rectified immediately. But more on that later. Now, those were very fast ways to increase your credit score, but before we go any further in the video, I want to make sure I'm sharing the biggest misconceptions with you so you don't make any mistakes on your credit. Let's tackle a persistent myth that just does not seem to quit all over the internet. I repeat, you do not need to carry, I repeat again, you do not need to carry a small balance on your credit cards to increase your credit score. The best utilization to have is no spend, no balance, not being charged interest, and the best part is, if your card is active and you're not spending any money on it, it's still technically reporting a positive green payment on your credit report. If you could pay off your card in full, and you should, do it. Don't carry a balance, don't pay any interest. It's like having a small little gremlin or monkey on your back. You don't need it. It's not necessary. Another big misconception. Carrying a balance does not increase your credit score, and using your card frequently for frequent little swipes, like pack of gum, buying something at the deli, it does not boost your score. The amount of times you swipe your card does not report to the credit bureaus. The only thing that does is your balance at the end of the month, as well as your highest balance throughout the year. Again, that's going to be reflected or taken from your monthly balances that are reported. It's not about how often you use the card, but keeping your balance low relative to your actual overall credit limit. If anyone tells you otherwise, send them my page because I have a bone to pick with them. Alright, let's get back to the show. Okay, hopefully those misconceptions made sense. Now, here's a few more ways to increase your credit score. Alright, another little known trick that can give your credit score a big boost overnight is the authorized user strategy. If you have a family member or a close friend and they have a solid credit history, ask them to add you on as an authorized user. It's like getting a free ride on their good credit habits. You get the benefit of their payment history, credit limit, and improving your score on your credit report without even having to spend a dime, unless they charge you. In that case, I would cut them off as a friend or family member because, yeah, they're supposed to be helping you, at least the good ones. Now, this is a helpful strategy, but it can ruin your credit if you do it the wrong way, so make sure you're doing this. Make sure the person adding you doesn't max out their card or carry a high balance. Well, you're probably wondering why, Nick. Well, because remember we spoke about not using all of your credit limit because you want to get the benefit of their good credit habits without any actual negative activity showing up on your report. So choose someone who's responsible and also maintains a low balance, because keep in mind that if they miss a payment or if they have a high credit utilization, it's going to also reflect on your report. Think of it like you're piggybacking behind them. This is also called credit piggybacking. Best part is being an authorized user doesn't mean you actually have to use the card. Again, think of it as credit piggybacking. You could hold onto their back without actually having to contribute and move your legs and carry any of the weight. Even better, most people choose to not even give their family members the physical card because, again, it's about the positive credit history appearing on your report and not actually using the card yourself. It's more of like a supplementary thing. All right, if you're still watching this video, I do have a token of appreciation for you. I do have a few bonus tips. First one being, make sure to request a credit increase on all your credit cards if you had them over 3 months. I'd say that's the minimum. Really want to shoot for 6 months. And you also want to make sure that requesting the credit increase will not be a hard inquiry on your credit report. Easy way to check is a quick Google search, or you could simply call the credit card or bank themselves. I just did this on my Apple Card, and I was able to double my credit limit to $6,500. Hopefully you could see this here. Very simple to do. Usually they ask for some basic information, but if you want more information on how to request increases on specific credit cards, then make sure to check out my page and consider subscribing to my channel. All right, another bonus tip most people don't even realize you could do is reporting your rent and your utilities if it's not already reflecting on your credit report, which it usually doesn't, to ultimately give you a major boost in your credit report. If you're not doing this, it's a huge mistake. Let me show you how. Super simple. You could pick any of these companies. Most of them charge a very small fee. I personally like BoomPay, so we're going to go there. It's as simple as entering in some basic information. And no, this video is not sponsored. I really do enjoy this company, and I recommend it to all of my clients. As you can see here, the average user sees an increase of over 105 points. Average increase of 28 points in 2 weeks, but overall a increase of over 100 points. And I can vouch for them because I have used them myself and have had many clients use them as well. It does report to all 3 of the bureaus, so ultimately you see an increase on all 3 of your credit reports. They basically confirm you pay rent by linking up to your bank account or payment of choice, and you ultimately get credit on your credit report, and that's pretty much it. You get the point. For the utilities, I like to use a free version because who doesn't like something free if you can get it that way, which is Experian Boost. Simply, again, links up to your payment method, whether it be your bank account or a card, and it gives you credit for your telephone bills, monthly subscriptions, and it gives you an increased credit score. Now keep in mind, this is normally only going to reflect on Experian, so that's why I recommend BoomPay over this for your rent in particular, because you want to make sure you're reporting to all 3 bureaus if there's an option to do so, which BoomPay does. But for utilities and cell phone and other things, then Experian Boost is the next best option. You could even get credit for your Netflix, Disney, and many more. Pretty much wraps up the video. Thank you so much for watching. And remember, a credit score doesn't simply define you, but it does open up many doors to do things in the future. Thank you so much for watching, and see you next time.